All right, let's do a fly through of the scene. Go to view, navigation, walk. Even though technically walk is fly for some reason. Let's slow this down a little bit. There we go. So I haven't done this section, and honestly, I don't know if I have any plans beyond this point. I'm honestly considering cutting it off here and then just making it loop back from the other side. As you can see on the far end there, I have all the prefabs. I haven't used all the windows available in the prefab set, and there aren't too many options, so I've been keeping it very simple with just, standard either factory or maybe apartment building or some kind of business just to fill in space. At some point, I will ask for the viewers to maybe bring in their own prefab sets that I'll throw into the scene as permanent for the final file. Though what I'll more than likely do is link everyone to the prefabs that I have here as a scale of reference, or maybe I'll ask the original person who outputted these if it would be okay if I outputted them at the scale they need to be in for editing. So at this far end here is also another cutoff point. So the main plan is for the street, at least in length, to go all the way down, and that's quite a bit that I've done. Let's go above them to show you a difference. Here you go. So technically on the back side of these buildings, I have an inner scaled cube, sometimes rectangles. But that's what will kill this the particles that I have. You can't see them at the moment, but I do have a particle simulation above all of this. Eats up a lot of file size and time in terms of processing, so that's why I have it turned off for now. But that's to kill the particles. So technically, all of them were designed to have no collision on the exterior part. So the rain particles fall through this exterior part, but then die based on this. Nope, there's a good spot to show you what I mean. So there's probably a small realm of space which allows them to fall, but it doesn't matter because the bottom of this surrounding platform also kills particles as well as the and that's it, because I need them to collide with the sidewalk but then pass through them so that I can also get dynamic paint effects. So let's go back. I may have plans to have the power lines extend across the street as they would realistically, though for this one I'd probably have it extend over here at the back side, and then that would be its power connection rather than interrupting the openness of this intersection here. The bike is in the wrong position at the moment. It should be facing more like this, but I had some scaling issues, so I needed to ensure that everything matched up, which twice it didn't. I wonder if this is floating on the ground. No? Okay. So I still have plans to add a bunch of stores along this side and that side. I just need to take a break because it gets kind of daunting trying to come up with different prefab setups when you only have like 8 options. So you're like, oh, well, what is it going to be this time? Oh, this can be just like a garage or something. It just gets kind of boring. So that's why I'm just showcasing the street from here on back. At least from this instance, you can see that the work I have to do to fill in the negative space here and also along here, I just threw them in. So this is the original base. I guess you would call it bricking. No, not bricking. Blocking, right? So this is me originally blocking out what I think the scene would look like. That's our prefabs. Once I'm done extruding these back, then I'll just bring this blocking section down to match up somewhat to the back end of this, and then it'll be hidden. Same thing for this side, 'cause they're not even the right height yet, which would then ultimately make the power lines seem taller, because right now they didn't seem, well, earlier stages they didn't seem tall enough, and I think I got a pretty good ratio here. They somewhat match the height of the light poles here. I may make them a little taller. They're about even. And so yeah, the plan was like to allow the player to, like, if they were driving a motorcycle into this scene, they could come in this way, come back out that way, or vice versa. And the same goes for this end. They'd come in this way and come back out that way, and vice versa. So everything loops back just like an old school video game does. I can't remember what it's called. Something wrapping, screen wrapping, right? And I know we've been flying around the outside. I know you've probably been wondering, what's the inside look like? Well, like this. I originally got rid of a bunch of arcade consoles. It seems like I forgot one, just so that I could free up 100 megabytes of space. So this is a 1.3 gigabyte file, which takes a billion years to save, but it looks awesome. So, and it's not even completely full. I tried to match up most of the scene to look, just on a basic level, similar to Flynn's arcade. I haven't filled it in completely, as you can see. There will be time to do that later. Hopefully with fan reviews and critique, we can finish this together. I still have plans on adding their strip lights that are supposed to be lined up. I think these are too wide too. I'm not really sure, but we'll look into that later. And then of course, and similar to the movie, it does exit out on the back side, but I had to get rid of see, this is me scaling, making sure it fit the scale of the lab. So the lab does exist, but I had to remove it and change this to a custom file. That's why it's Flynn's Arcade Street Mode, just so that I could move around freely the way I could and comfortably without any stuttering. But as you can see now, it's saving. So anyways, that's the scene. I hope you like it. I will I guess we'll wait. And let's just take a look at the backside. I've left it unfinished. I figure what I'll do is just add a flat plane that looks like bricks, so I don't actually have to model anymore. And that's part of why the scene is so big, is because, these bricks are legit. I could have gone with textures, but look at this. The sign also needs to be finished. There's some exterior details that I need to add, like there's this metal framing that goes here. I actually want to bring in actual windows. There's some work that needs to be done here, but for the most part, it looks pretty good. Don't forget to check out my Facebook page. I have a ton of pre-rendered stuff there of all of this. I'll look into adding stuff on the YouTube community side. Not really sure how that works yet, but I'd like to throw some renders up on there too, just to keep people interested in what I'm doing. If anyone can get a hold of Adam Akmal as well, because I'd really like to do some back and forth Tron stuff with him. I'm going to find a way to get a hold of him as well, and maybe we can put some cool stuff together, because this is just the beginning. I'm also going to showcase the lab in terms of being able to fly through it, and then we'll talk about the person who modeled it, and then what steps I'm going to take all of this beyond that. So it's kind of like a 3-step thing, and I hope that you guys stick around and keep viewing the content. So thanks for watching.